I'd like to welcome to Art in the Air Spotlight back again from the Marshall J. Gardner Center for the Arts, and that's at 540 South Lake Street in Gary. And they have millerbeacharts.org. You can find out information there, 219-885-9114. We will give you that information at the end of the segment here, but we have Julia Gibbs, the executive director, and she's going to tell you about an upcoming exhibit, which is March 20th in April, and maybe talk about some of the through April, and also some of the things that have been happening. Julia, welcome back to Art in the Air Spotlight.
Thank you so much for having me. Hi, Larry. Hi, Esther. It's great to be back.
It's great to see you, Julia.
Thank you. I'm excited to talk about our upcoming exhibit that I'm actually curating. So in March, we're going to open a one-man show by the artist Roman Villarreal, and it's called Roman Villarreal, The Gift of Shaping, Works in Painting and Sculpture. And that runs from March 20th to April 24th. With an opening reception on March 20th from 6 to 8 p.m. at the gallery.
And so what is Roman's type of art? I mean, you sent us a thing, but I know he's from South Chicago. But tell us about the kind of things he has in his exhibit.
Yeah, I'd love to. So Roman's a self-taught sculptor living on the south side of Chicago. He's a really prolific maker who's been creating work since the 1970s. He's a former steel worker, and he raised his family on the south side of Chicago, where he still lives today with his beautiful wife, Maria. And a lot of the subjects around his life really occupy the majority of his artistic work. So you see a lot of things around urban and family life. Roman considers his art a recording and history of life on the South Side. So it's reflecting on people and places and life experiences of his community. And there's also a really strong element of his Mexican heritage within the work as well. Now, our exhibit at the gallery spans decades of his artistic practice. There's a variety of media that people will see: paintings in acrylic, sculpture in wood and stone. He has very unusual media here, from marble to alabaster, and as unusual as foam and even soap in his work. It's really, really fun and playful and beautiful work. So in particular, people will see a lot of themes of a family and family relationships. And one thing I love about Roman's work in particular is that people are really used to seeing this theme of mother and child and Madonna and child in artistic work. But Roman purposefully flips this on its head because he feels that fathers are underrepresented in art. So there's some really beautiful pieces in the show that are portraits of father and child, fathers in family groupings, fathers with their children together. I find them really beautiful, and really excited to see him kind of express his own relationship with his family and his feelings about fatherhood through his artwork. People will also see a lot of expressions of urban life, dancing, musicians in clubs, hanging out on the street, and also a little darker commemorations of urban tragedies. But in general, Roman's work is very colorful and playful. Some things I love in particular in the show as well are his reversible paintings that can actually be positioned in different ways. So you see both the front and the back or the side. They're all painted, so you can move them around. And the scale of the pieces is also really interesting. They go from everything from minute, the tiny soap sculptures I mentioned earlier that you can hold in your hand, they're so small, to monumental. And one thing I wanted to mention in particular, speaking of the monumental, is that Roman's actually really well-known artist in Chicago and has a number of public works. So not only can people come to the gallery, but they can see his work out in the world. Two in particular I wanted to mention. His Tribute to the Past is a sculpture that's been installed at Steelworkers Park on Chicago's southeast side. It's around Lakeshore Drive and 87th Street. And so that sort of speaks to his past as a steelworker. And out here in Indiana, just last January, he had an installation of limestone turtles placed at the Indigenous Culture Trail, which is at the Indiana Dunes Visitor Center along Route 49. And they're really, really beautiful and very significant in a way. In fact, that they're made of limestone, which is indigenous to our area, but the turtles are also an incredibly important symbol to the Potawatomi people who live here as well. So people can see his work out in the world. His work is also in collections, the Mexican Museum of Art in Chicago. He's had a major retrospective at Intuit Museum in Chicago in 2023. So I think when folks come to see the show, they're going to see a very significant regional artist, whole body of work. As I said, he's been working since the 1970s.
Wow.
So, Julia, about how many pieces are represented?
Right now, I've got about 80 on the list. By the time we open the show, we may have had to scale it back a little bit. But again, they vary in size wildly. So it's everything from very large scale painting and sculpture to minute, tiny pieces you need to get right up on top of. And before we run out of time, I wanted to mention also that we'll have an artist talk with Roman on April 12th at 2 p.m. And that's really worth coming out to. Roman is a great storyteller. And as an artist, he's also an incredibly generous individual. He's been a mentor to many younger artists, including the CISA group, crazy in-style artists who are actually the people who painted the murals in Miller Beach. So we have a very strong connection with Roman and with the people he's mentored over time. We're excited to have him here.
Well, that's a wonderful exhibit. It's a Roman Villarreal, and it'll be at the Marshall J. Gardner Center for the Arts, 540 South Lake Street in Gary. And you can find out more information at millerbeacharts.org. That's Julia Gibbs, Executive Director. Thank you for coming on the Air Spotlight and sharing.
Thank you so much for having me. I hope to see you at the opening.
Yeah, thank you for another winning exhibition.
Art on the Air Spotlight and the complete 1-hour program on Sunday is brought to you by Ember Forge Consulting, with end-to-end expertise in learning strategy, design, and implementation. Ember Forge turns your organization's knowledge into impact. To learn more, visit emberforgeconsulting.com.